Hello everybody, welcome to ToV Live tonight. It is Valhalla time, and we got a special night for you people. Let's get started. Hello, welcome to the stream everybody. We have some of our usual suspects tonight, and I'm sorry, I got a little bit of a throat thing, a little bit of a cold thing, so recovering, but something's wrong.
The word there was success. I can't say it now. Oh, forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
Forget it.
We can't say
We're
things.
sussy boys.
Anyway, I'm Ryan, Tales of Valhalla. I got Joe Crazy above me. I got Jason, Rocker Robotics over there. I got Ben, MK Plus Ultra, who's going to be chiming in. And above me, we have a special guest tonight. It is from Heroscapers, OEAO, Mike, above me. And Mike, can you introduce yourself to the ToV Live audience?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ryan. I'm Mike. I'm OEAO on the forums. I run the Casters of Valhalla podcast. More recently, I'm streaming over on Emery4848. That's Emery, and that's my buddy Mike Emery's or Hound's Rule on Heroscapers. That's his Twitch, and we're gonna be releasing stuff on his YouTube as well. Just doing some gameplay. For those that don't know, I've been playing Heroscape for 13, 14 years or so. Been going to Gen Con or ScapeCon for 10 or 11 years now, and I currently run ScapeCon with my dad. So
yes, he does. And for those of you watching this on YouTube, all links of information from Mike and all of us content creators here will be in a link in the description below, so good, check them out. Just press all the buttons for the things, like the subscribes, just everything. Give these guys some love. And yes, thank you, Mike, for being on board tonight. It is wonderful to have you with us tonight, talking about Heroscape: Age of Annihilation, because this is kind of what we talk about. And there are some notifications this past week from N Carmine, and we're going to get into those in a second as soon as I bring them up here. Let's see, which one is it first? It's a Clockwork Combine, right? That's day 21.
Woo! Yep. Woo!
All right, and when I was talking about little furry woodland creatures last week and how I loved, just hints of those, we got a boatload of those this week, and I am just so happy about this. So, since my throat isn't the best, I'm gonna give some of you guys an opportunity to read these postings. Who wants to go first? Joe, would you like to go first?
Let's do it.
Let's
do it. The Clockwork Combine. Faction lore. Once a peace-loving and pacifist society of farmers and artists from the planet Noxdorma, the various creatures of the Clockwork Combine have been forced to learn to make war on a previously unimaginable scale, or face their complete extinction at the hands of their enemies. In their desperation and with utter determination to survive, the Combine's artificers, engineers, and scientists developed amazing new technologies and fantastic flying machines of wonder to create havoc on the battlefields of their home planet and allow them the tactical flexibility to move their best troops to exactly the right place at the right moment. With the help of their advanced technology and limitless ingenuity, I know I did that wrong, the Combine is now capable of lightning-quick troop redeployment, aggressive aerial insertions, and even equipment repairs in the very heat of battle.
Yeah.
What a different vibe from this faction.
Yeah, let's take a look at these. Look at these wonderful sketches of these guys. It's just like talk about, like what I was saying last week, having furry little woodland creatures by your side, armed to the teeth. These are literal furry woodland creatures armed to the teeth, and I love the just the imagination, just the fact that, recognizing the fact that Heroscape, you can introduce practically anything to this universe, you know, as a faction for creatures, and just the level of design and thought being put into what we're gonna be playing these things sometime in the future. These little miniature things, these creatures, it's just like, I'm freaking out. Okay, somebody speak for me, please.
Oh, Ryan, you're absolutely right. These are so cool and so different from anything we've ever seen, and Heroscape in general. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, so on Facebook, I saw a lot of, or too many comments saying, well, I guess I shouldn't say too many because that reveals my position too quickly. I'm seeing a lot of comments saying like, oh my God, they're ruining Heroscape. This is going to be the thing that ruins Heroscape. Are you kidding me? Like, this is Redwall or like Mice and Mystics or like any of those other things brought to Heroscape. Like, like Heroscape is all about different factions fighting. It does not make any thematic sense that you can have a medieval knight fighting a futuristic robot. Do not try to say that that is justified, but woodland creatures bearing arms isn't. Like hello? Like, no. Okay. I get it. It might not be your favorite faction. That's fine. There are factions I don't care about. For example, I think the General Vidar is just overrated. The whole General, I just don't like it. It's just not my vibe. You know, I just don't care about futuristic, you know, Solberg crap. Like who cares? And we saw the Iron people. Now it's like, again, I was just kind of like, who cares? Like more, it's not more of the same, but like, come on, more machinery. Like it just doesn't do it for me. Like that's not why I like it's not what I like in the game. This is like 100% like I saw the Dryan stuff and I was like, yeah, it's neat. Like, you know, more fantasy, you know, Ular kind of vibes with like tree people and whatever. And but then like this is like steampunk / like clockwork, like, which is already one of my favorite genres, that there's not enough like good board games, or really like there's not enough good stuff in that genre in my opinion, especially board games. Like I played one recently, just wasn't good, which was unfortunate. But you're giving me that with the animal like bearing arms, like Redwall or Mice and Mystics. Like I read all the Redwall books back when I was in elementary and middle school, you know. And then Mice and Mystics, I actually Grunge Bob, who's an admin on Heroscapers, like he's the guy that designed Mice and Mystics, which is literally like you're a mouse and you're a human, and then you transform yourself into mice, and then you're like running around a castle, like thwarting the evil queen who could turn herself into a spider to fight you. Like bizarre theme, but then everything in the game is super thematic, and now you're giving a nod to that in Heroscape. That's perfect. You know, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. This is a great faction in my opinion. Like this is the one, like every other one, like even the Dryans, I was like, yeah, it's neat. Like I want to see mechanics. Like here, I'm just like, no, I'm in. You know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I made it finally. Yeah. No, you're here, Ben. Yeah.
I'm glad I came in for that part. But yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't even know what the question was, but it's just, I honestly have been staying away from the Heroscapers Facebook group because every drop is just, there's just something to complain about. And I'm not hating on, you know, the complainers, but it's just like, how does any of what they're releasing, they could release a glob that has a fire aura and it has sticks for arms, and it's still Heroscape because it's the battle of all time throughout the universe, throughout all time. So how do these little furry woodland creatures bearing arms not fit in to Heroscape? That was just, I everything could fit Heroscape. They literally brought Marvel heroes in, they brought D&D in, like anything could fit Heroscape. So saying that something specifically doesn't fit the theme of Heroscape is kind of ridiculous to me.
Yeah, it's
and and I get the people. There are some people, and honestly, I was one of them. You know, aside from this faction, like I am a mechanics first player, right? Like I'm very much the analytical type of. You know, I'm the tournament player, right? I'm the audience for. I'm the reason like that they have a few of the people they have working on balancing, because I'm the guy that wants to play this at a tournament level. So I'm mechanics first, and I get it. If you are a mechanics first person, you're saying, okay, I don't care that much because I need to see what these things do. Fair enough. That's a totally reasonable, in my opinion, you know, position to take. I for this faction, I don't particularly agree, but just in general. But it's just the getting like. You don't know nearly enough to be upset. All you know is that there are going to be some of these factions. You have no idea what they're going to do. You have no, you have no idea what the mechanics are. You have no idea how they're going to fit in with pre-existing factions, because like people are like, oh, we're not seeing the building on of pre-existing stuff. But it's like you look at like just right off the bat, Romans, right? Romans bond with Nagaxa and Mogrim and the Venok Warlord and bond with Miberksa, and it's like none of that makes thematic sense. Like if you saw concept art of Mogrim, you wouldn't know that he bonds with the Romans, right? Like you just wouldn't, and until you realize, okay, he's a warlord, so now he bonds. Like there's so much potential for cross-faction synergy that like just because we haven't seen the existing factions specifically, like any one of these could be a warlord. Any one of these could be, you know, I mean, the animals can't be a human champion, but you get the point. Like you could theoretically tie in a lot of things together, and or previous buffs, you know, saying like, hey, all of this type of unit gets this sort of buff in your army or whatever, you know, or like discipline stuff with the Greeks, you know, with their defense boost or the Valiant defense boost. Like there's so many ways you can tie stuff together that without the mechanics, it's just, I just don't get the, you know, how you can really be too upset about anything that's happened yet, you know?
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, look, like you said, I mean, there could be, I mean, sure, Captain is a brand new class coming with the Dawn Raider Syndicate, but otherwise that, yeah, you can have, you know, disciplined Clockwork Combine. You can have a Warlord. You can have, you know, not a knight, but, you know, different personalities and different, you know, classes that would mesh with everything else. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I think it's okay if someone wants to disagree. That's fine. I mean, like you said, Mike, you weren't really into, you know, the previous factions before, and I mean, for me, aesthetically, I just like everything. I mean, that's just my filmmaker mind. I'm just like, yes, just bring it all to me, please. Give me story, give me lore, and I'm happy. But I can understand. It's okay to disagree, but I mean, you know, it's something that, if you don't want it, then don't get it. Because I guarantee you, 2 to 3 to 5 years from now, probably some of the same people are going to be hunting for this stuff on eBay or you know, Goodwill or something, to be like, oh, I need this, you know, because got to catch them all, you know, or whatever, for these miniatures. So, yeah, I mean, at least the conversation is still going. I mean, and people at least have enough of an interest to disagree with something, and I think that's why also that they, I mean, for Fridays, they're giving us something that's kind of familiar to be like, hey, you know, this is still the same universe. Hey, we are still thinking about, you know, the past and trying to, you know, show respect to the past as well. So that's a reassuring thing for me as well. Jason, what do you think? We got into a tangent of negative comments, but what about these creatures themselves?
I mean, just quickly on the topic of negative comments, I mean, people in tabletop gaming communities complaining for the heck of complaining. That's just what they do. There's a running gag that basically a Games Workshop forum its popularity is directly related to how many negative posts about Games Workshop and Warhammer you're going to find on it. So the fact that people are complaining about a new faction that this kind of design is woodland creatures is kind of uncommon in traditional high fantasy. Like, you talk about there's settings that are very specific to this, but most high fantasy doesn't really go too far away from its Tolkien roots. You have your orcs, goblins, and maybe a few other different races, but this is definitely something kind of new, so I can see why some people might be a little irritated by it, because it's so radically different. but that's about it. But I think the question I really have about them, do we know if they're tiny? Like, are they actually going to be like physically small miniatures, or are these going to be more human-sized, maybe, things?
Don't know.
I think they'll just be normal size. I don't think they're actually going to be tiny.
Yeah, he said they said they're supposed to be about 4 feet tall. So if you think a dwarf would be 4 feet tall, I think they would be about the same height as a miniature dwarf miniature.
Yeah.
So they might still be small 3 or 4, but they're gonna be the size of a. I don't think they're gonna be the size of a goblin cutter. I for sure think they're
right. Imagine painting that. My God, that's insane. With the amount of detail these models have, I mean, I don't think the ferret's gonna be that short. I mean, some of them are gonna be pretty short.
Yeah.
Like that beaver up there, but otherwise, I think some of them probably height 4, 5, maybe 3, 4, 5. 5 being the tallest.
I love the steampunk type vibe hats that and weapons and just clothing that they have on. It's a very nice genre to fit these things in. The little pop guns or the rifles, yeah. Tell some of these are snipers.
They all seem to be like augmented in some way or another. Not all of them, but a lot of them have like a prosthetic limb, from what I'm seeing, or just like an augmented arm. Mm-hmm. Like that's cool too, though. It's like first off, like literally, I got reminded of Rocket Raccoon. Like he just, and I'm not that. Oh, they're copying off him. I like that. I like that idea of a talking woodland creature that's about the same size that it would be in nature. So I just thought that was pretty cool. And then also, sorry, this is I'm talking out of turn, but bringing it back to Mike's point of Redwall and the books Mossflower and Pearls of Lutra. I read all of those books as a kid, and it just really brought back. I was taken back to literally like what I pictured as a kid while reading those books. I mean, none of them were steampunk, but they were all had swords and they all had spears and armor, and so it was just really cool to see that in Heroscape. Because I loved those books, that series of books as a kid. I couldn't get enough of it, and it trickled into like my freshman year of high school, just because I remember like English class and writing like book reports about those books. So I was with those books for a long time. I didn't discover them until later, but still, like you said, it really brought me back to that Redwall, abbey walls, seeing the tapestry on the wall, the hero mouse with the sword. So
yeah, and sure. Go ahead.
For me and my entire childhood for this, I got a lot of Chip and Dale vibes, but a little bit more angry versions of them.
Yes.
That's what I grew up on.
Yep, same here. Yep. Yeah, us older generation guys, we just have no clue what you guys are talking about, but I think it's literature that we need to read.
I'm pretty sure they're older books though too. Like I didn't read them till like after the fact. I got like literally like C.S. Lewis vibes from him.
Yeah, that's a lot. I get from too. And I just want to interject because we have some people commenting on the live stream here, and I just want to bring them in. Justin, hey Justin, welcome to the stream. Thank you for commenting. He's just saying, let's go. Looking forward to hearing what you guys' thoughts are on all these things. I'd freak if there was a Clockwork Combine scout to pair with an army of Vipers, Mohicans, and Zedekron. Yeah, that would be kind of nice.
It's completely plausible too.
Mm-hmm. That would be kind of nice. And I think Jeremy's trying to join us. Jeremy, are you on? Are you with us?
Yeah, I was waiting for you all to
okay, no, that's fine. It's fine. Are you going to do video or are you just going to do your voice?
Yeah, I can do video.
Okay.
I was waiting.
Okay, no, that's fine. You're good.
He wants to make a grand entrance.
He does.
I do.
Let's see. Okay, all of us are going to be switched around again now.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Okay. Here's a story of a man named Okay, no. Let's all right. Okay, so we got Jeremy there too. He's our lore master.
Can I ask one question?
The LSTM. Yeah. Yes, Jason.
For Jeremy to go along with this topic, are you going to build a steampunk armor for your cat now to make it look like one of these characters?
Yeah, I have to, right? I gotta prep her for the eventual war with the Ironclad, So
do we know that their enemies are the Ironclad? They live on the same planet.
Yeah, they're on the
same
planet. I think.
Oh, I knew that sounded familiar.
Yeah, they're on the same planet, but I think the idea is that like it's implied that because the Ironclad are just like going around and devastating everything, that the Clockwork took the guns to protect their homeland because they were pacifists. You know, they said that they were just farmers, so they learned how to fight. So I'd imagine the Ironclad's the reason why. Like that was the incentive. But I'm guessing there. I don't think they mentioned that specifically yet.
Wow. Imagine that.
Yeah, I was just pondering that because they never explicitly stated that, they need to protect themselves from the Ironclad, or it could just be a byproduct of that war going on that other factions, sprouted up. And because I don't do the Ironclad have any threat from these creatures? I don't know. They just seemed like too big of an enemy for these little guys. But
what if they're from a different time period on the same planet?
Look at that wrench. Come on. He's dismantling the Ironclad. We all know that,
actually,
right?
Yeah.
Look at that fairing.
The piles of junk.
No kidding. Just look at that
From
thing.
the battles,
Clockwork Combine are the ancestors of the Ironclad.
Oh no.
Yeah, but what if it's a different time? Like this is like the 1400s, where the Ironclad's like the 3700s. Like
could absolutely be. Now, I'm gonna have to push us forward because we just talked about one of the Discord dumps, and we got 4 more to go, and it's already been a half hour. So
yep.
This is how we roll, So let's continue. All right. I'm gonna bring this one up. I believe it's the next one, day 22. Yep. All right. So who wants to read this next one? Volunteers. Anyone?
I can. I gotta pull up the notes though.
All right, Ben. I'll let you have it. So this is Designer's Notes, day 22.
Air Captain Zed Nesbitt.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Don't let the fear of falling keep you from flying. Air Captain Zed Nesbitt, a living legend among the Vord people, as a talented sharpshooter, but for his almost uncanny ability to survive, his signature strategically inspired rapid descents to the surface, flying maneuvers in his custom-engineered war dirigible. Quick to capitalize on Zed Nesbitt's utter fearlessness in combat, an amazing knack for being just in the right place at the right moment, many Clockwork Combine jump infantry are quick to volunteer and hitch a ride with the air captain, engaging where the carnage is heaviest, bringing fangs, claws, and death from above.
We have a miniature that is actually like a plane that flies. This is happening. This is happening.
First vehicle, right?
So let's take a look at this concept art on this thing. It's just lovely.
Yeah, I don't that's the debate that I've been having internally. Is it a vehicle or is it just a mount like a Grimnack or the Morrow Behemoth?
That's true. That's true.
Be part of his sculpt, and so I think that's a whole giant mechanic to introduce into the game, and I don't think they're introducing vehicles. I think that's his sculpt, and I felt that same way. I'm like, oh, vehicles, and then even the next Discord dump, I felt the same way as well. It's like, is that a little walking tank? I just think it's going to be part of the sculpt.
It probably. Oh yeah. I think so too. But it's still. Can you imagine what type of elevation this miniature is going to have? And then there's a sniper gun, so obviously can snipe at miniatures from that's just going to be like really cool to have. And anybody that you see that come on the board, you're going to fear it. You don't even know what stats. You'd be like, this thing's gonna be a hard thing to get probably if it's elevated.
Flying range for sure.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, thoughts around the board here.
If I had to guess, it has carry, where it's gonna have something really similar. Like this gives Major Thrakus vibes. I also like with the carrying thing with the gun, you have to think back to at least to me, my mind jumps to the VC unit Mock, who is like this giant this giant actually is a giant, and he has 2 dwarf gunners on his back. And the way VC designed it was basically you get to put 2 dwarves, like axe grinders, onto his card, and then they're manning the turrets. That'd be kind of the other thing. Like you take them off the battlefield, and then they're like manning his gun, you know. But more likely than not, he just has like carry or something really similar, right, to move to shuttle troops around, which goes back to the previous designer notes as well. Unless it's just flavor text, in which case he doesn't have carry.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah. We could be reading into the text more, and we do that often. But you know, it's fun. It's fun to do it that way.
I mean, it's a pretty safe bet that he either has or does not have carry. So I'm willing to take that bet.
And actually, I noticed like on the designs in the bottom here, where the different design, different ships, but you notice there's like a stand for like wherever it's based on. But how would that affect the balance of that? Because I think it'd be a top-heavy figure then. So
Well, Star Wars Legion has vehicles like the air speeders and stuff, and they sit on just like a single peg in the middle of the base, and you know, you can design these pegs, and what you do is you have them go into the mini. Like you got the air speeder, and then it's got like a nook, and you like stick it in, or just like X-wing the miniature ships. Like they could design that.
Okay.
I think the issue is more of the Heroscape base is much smaller than what you'd see on the Airspeeder or a Warhammer 40,000 flyer, though. It could be very tippy left to right, you know.
Right. I'm sure gonna work it out.
That's a good point. No, that's definitely a good point.
I mean, I'm sure they'll work it out.
They may have a larger base or something. I don't know.
If it is with a stand, it will be the first Heroscape miniature with a stand. You know, not actually touching the base physically.
Bro.
That would be crazy.
They could also simulate kind of like you know, even though the gun is down low, you can get a similar effect, at least for line of sight purposes, by just putting the targeting point at the top rather than where it would normally come out. So instead of having to raise the miniature up to get to a point where the targeting point would be, let's say, this high, you just, like, the miniature is this big and you just put the targeting point at the top, right? So it's what they did at, which dragon, one of the dragons has it, like, at his horns as opposed to at his eyes. So it's just a very similar concept to that.
For sure.
The miniature itself was really basically like a half-inch off the ground, but they just a targeting point to make it seem like he's firing high for the sky.
Right. Exactly.
Oh,
it's gonna be interesting how this comes out. I think
Oh,
this is
yeah.
one of my ones to really. I'm thinking, not just
but
go ahead.
I was gonna say I like what Ben was saying about determining that. I mean, regardless if it has carry or not, but if it's, I'm sure it's just essentially like a mount, like, so, you know, like like any of the characters, the names are the character riding the character, not the actual dinosaur or whatever. So, you know, with this character, I'm sure it's gonna be Air Captain Zed Nesbitt, right? You know, it's not the name of the vehicle, like, it's not the name of the thing. But, you know, the fact that we're finally getting, you know, someone riding a machine that doesn't have a soul in it, you know, like, per se, is so different.
We're seeing a lot of those. Like, these past few weeks, you know, machines
it's
without
really
souls.
cool. I love that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts before we move forward to the next one?
Have there ever been any units that are effectively immune to melee in Heroscape, which I guess would be like immune to a range 1 weapon or something? If he's flying above the battlefield, you really can't have guys with swords slashing at him unless maybe they have flying themselves.
Like it cannot
this weird, like,
cannot take melee
thing.
attacks.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
That would
broken.
be interesting.
You have to roll a d20 in order to be able to hit him. I mean, that is plausible. Make it a super low number, but still, like, no melee can touch him.
The sky, just like.
And you know, I was also thinking with the whole carry thing you're talking about, because it references jump infantry, which we don't know what the jump infantry are. Maybe there's a specific hero squad that goes along with them that's kind of similar to what the Airborne Elite can do, but you've got to deploy within the range of this thing or something.
If it's a small ship, if they're making a small ship, why wouldn't there be some type of plans for a battleship or battleship terrain? We talked about this kind of thing like previous live streams too.
That's why.
Huh? Say what?
That's a whole nother scale of a game. if
Yeah.
you're
Oh
gonna go
yeah.
and do
I know.
battle.
I know. But
That's
Very
why
true.
it's a
the
small
mind,
thing.
you know, the mind is thinking.
I mean, if you want a 3-foot-tall walking titan, there's games for that out there, and you can spend your $3,000 on that miniature if you want. So.
Oh, just 3,000. Not bad.
Just 3,000.
Get the checkbook out. We're buying it.
Well, maybe future plans. Maybe future plans. I'd like to see that. All right. So on to the next one. Who wants to? Jeremy, do you want to read this next one? Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
All right. All right. So let's see here. Let me pop this up. Let me get the search. Yeah, day 23. Beavers. Go ahead, Jeremy.
All right. There it is. Yeah. So, who ever heard of the Screaming Beavers? The Void Glider Strikers are the Clockwork Combine's elite light infantry air assault division, capable of rapid deployment and insertions behind enemy lines. The unit is comprised of all volunteers who have the fortitude, resolution, and training to meet the harsh requirements needed to wear the sky sail. Generally considered glory seekers by other Clockwork units, the Void Glider Strikers are nonetheless respected by fellow soldiers for their tenacity and feared by enemies for their effectiveness.
This is like, okay, furry little woodland creatures with we're just getting it all really with these things. And I think this is one. Is this the one, Mike, that you are just like, yeah, I got a comment on this one? Is that right? Or is it just all of them in particular?
Yeah, because this is the Ewoks with the hang gliders dropping rocks on the stormtroopers. like for me, like I'm in. Like, I mean, they don't have rocks, so their weapons are unfortunately like just worse. But they still have weapons and they still have hang gliders. Like I don't know if they'll have the drop ability that like the airborne have. I wouldn't be shocked to see them have that based on the flavor text. But again, if the flavor text is just flavor text, then they might not have the drop. But yeah, this is the one that for me, like a unique squad of basically Ewok hang gliders is like the dream.
For sure.
Yeah, I just like that. It's just more little furry woodland creatures armed to the teeth, with steampunk vibes. Type mechanical leather armor type. I'm just give me I couldn't. I don't know how much more I can say. Take my money, than I'm already saying. I don't know how much more. How much more do you want to punish me?
Do we know what a Vorid is? Is that like one of the species, or is that a military unit?
It was and Carmen mentioned in Discord that the Vorid are the mammalian species that we see. So like there are apparently other species of the Clockwork Combine that we haven't been introduced to, but the main ones so everyone in the art, those are all Vorid. So all the mammalian.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there are different like Vorids, like so it's not like actually like a beaver or like a ferret or weasel. It's like actually they're just Vorid.
Yeah, they're called the Vorid.
They would probably be insulted if you called them that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to know if there's a Valkyrie general behind this faction. It'd be interesting to see who the Valkyrie general is.
All right.
So it's the one thing I look forward to.
I almost want to say my personal guess would be Einar.
I think Jandar. Like they give real Jandar vibes. Like, yes, Captain Zed Nesbitt, he's a real like hero. A lot of these guys are out for like glory, and that does fit Einar too, though. But I think these guys, I don't know, they just give me more airborne elite vibes.
Right.
Or a new Valkyrie general altogether.
Yeah,
Possibly.
That's what I want. That's what I want for them.
I mean, I want to see a lot of new Valkyrie generals. To be perfectly honest.
I think I noticed the conversations. There's a lot of people get stuck on the 6+1 because there's a lot of debate about Valkyrie right now. But so I say 6+1. But yeah, I see a lot of discussion that goes towards the line that they are the only ones allowed to summon characters, and I'm like, we still don't really know if that's the case or if they just they focused on those 6, but it's a war. Of battle of all time. There's literally no bounds. Like we are literally summoning beavers with guns. There are no bounds in this fight. So.
And keep in mind too that Valhalla, the map that we see, that's not a globe. That's just a map of a section
that's one
of the planet. I mean, so there's room to expand, and even Hawkland, we don't know anything about. That name's been mentioned now on Discord. So I look forward to see what they're going to do with that little piece of land out there, because there's been lots of stories and just theorizing made about that place. So if they expand on that, that's going to be, which it looks like they're going to do, it's going to be a lovely thing as well.
Now, do you think that all the new factions are newly summoned? I mean, except for the Dawn Raiders. I don't think the Dawn Raiders are. But everyone else are newly summoned characters? Or we just haven't seen them in the battle yet?
We need to see what
and they've been here this entire time.
Yeah, it depends on where they decide to start the story and like into the picture. Because I mean, of course, from what they said at the very beginning, like when they were dropping Dawn Raiders, they wanted to introduce new species. They wanted to introduce new members to the Heroscape family and start with that first, and then kind of like work their way outwards. So a lot of this will probably be the opening of the Age of Annihilation, and then whatever we get in the background scenes, they'll explain, oh yeah, no, they've been here, or they showed up after Swarm of the Morrow, or because I mean that's still never got finished. We never finished the Swarm of the Morrow storyline, so that they could pick up from there and then continue from that point. I mean, who knows? So
we'll see.
So if we've got like in the map of Valhalla as it is, we basically have roughly like one continent-ish. I don't know if you call it.
It's not even the full continent. It cuts off.
Not even full continent. Yeah.
I mean, there could be a whole other half of the planet, like Ryan's saying. Like we have Europe, Asia, chilling over here. Americas are over here. We don't know. There could be a whole other war with other well springs. We don't know where all the well springs are yet. That's been going on parallel to what was happening in old Heroscape, and now this other continent unified under some ruler and is now invading the original Heroscape world, blowing it all up. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm not a lore guy, but like this is a fantasy universe in a fantastical world where people get summoned through water. Like what is there to say that only Valkyrie can summon people? Like how do we even know that Valkyries are summoning these? Like how do we know that there's not some other continent or wherever where there's some other magical, like, I don't know, magical shadow, and in this magical shadow they can summon people from like a different world? Like that was a really dumb way to put it, but the point being, like,
no, I get
no.
It's just limiting it, saying that there's only 6 generals because there's only been 6. Like, I mean, first of all, the anti-Valkyrial is mind-boggling in my opinion, but ignoring the anti-Valkyrial, like, just the limiting it to only 6, because like this faction, I just don't see it in any of the current generals. Like you have the nature vibe, which is Aquila, but it doesn't fit. Aquila's more like chaotic vibes at all. It doesn't really seem Einar to me. It seems like not disciplined enough. Like I don't see most of these as like they're warrior-ish, but they don't. I don't know. Just like that. Ewok hang gliders to me, like, unless they don't act at all like Ewok hang gliders, like Ewoks don't, like, just that there's a disconnect for me between Ewoks and disciplined. Like they're more scrappy, right? But they're not chaotic. They're like, somewhat organized. So I don't know. I would prefer to see like some new generals to go along with it, or no generals. I don't know. Maybe they're just no non-general units. Like that could be a thing too.
It's a possibility. I had a thought and suddenly gone. So somebody say something else, please, before.
Well, okay. Well, I did. From what Mike was talking about too, like Kyrie were the dominant species on Valhalla, but that's not the only species that was there. So yes, if they're the most prevalent species, they're going to have probably the most access to a wellspring. But there was in in Jandar's vision. Like I mean, not in Jandar's vision, but he had the human touch the stones. So was the human actually the one opening the portal, or was it like the power of the Valkyrie who drank from the water? Because what if a human drank from the water? Would they now start seeing visions and have power, or was it only the Kyrie that were getting visions and gaining more power, because there's no talk of somebody else or an orc. What about orc or a elf drinking from the wellspring? Like, they too would have magical powers, I think. So
They mentioned Cyprian, the vampire, who started drinking from the wellspring. So they cut off his bio there. So, I mean, they were already exploring the idea of other species trying out the magic for themselves. So who knows where
it's crazy.
they can go with that.
Wellspring juiced up Cyprian. I don't.
Yeah, right. magic.
That's
And so
scary.
No, I just wanted to say one thing because I finally got the thought back. No, Mike, I just wanted to tell you that I don't think what you're thinking is crazy, because Chris and Carmine himself actually gave us some lore questions on previous podcasts to talk about that very nature of the wellsprings and what are their origins and who is actually in control of them, and if controlling them does more good than harm, and what's going to be the outcome of controlling them. So what you're saying, it actually falls kind of into line, I think, what they're thinking about.
yeah, and I was just gonna ask, like, you guys are lore guys, so like, was there any difference between like Raylan and Jandar outside of the drinking from the wellspring, or could like we theoretically have Raylan the general, like the Valkyrie general?
The only difference was that Jandar drank from the wellspring. So, all you have to do is drink the water and it will cause the transformation. And then you start having the visions.
Jeremy?
Mess with the runestone. Good to go.
Jeremy? Your audio is like really, really low. Just so you know, I don't know if it's low to you guys, but it's coming in kind of low. Like it's going like in and out. Just so you know. I don't know. If
I got you. It's one of those cardioid mics. I gotta talk right into it.
Okay. Good. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Just to let you know, FYI. Yep, for sure. All right. Moving on. All right. What were you saying, Jeremy? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no. But the question was, could Raylan also become a Valkyrie? Like, is there any restrictions? All you have to do is drink water through the wellspring, and then once you start having those visions, you activate the magic through the runestones that they have in the same area, and then you could start summoning for yourself. So, at any point, they could just shift loyalties if they felt like it. They could become, different armies, split groups. Anything can happen. I mean, once again, the game has been, the story hasn't continued for 12 years. They could take it anywhere at this point. So,
for sure.
Did the current general somehow protect the wellspring so random other people don't find them?
Mm-hmm. A lot of, I think each general has their own special wellspring that they guard, and then they have, like, that's the one they protect the most, and they're trying to acquire access to the others, or at least protect routes to the others, so that way, the main goal, I think the way they left it off was that the main goal was to prevent Ukar, because he was the one that was like, if I get all of them, I'm going to take over the entire galaxy. And the others were like, all right, let's not do that. Let's team up and stop him. So that each of them worked together just to block off routes to known wellsprings and try to figure out where the others were. And they only found 7 before the story ended. So there's 8 more out there that haven't been accounted for. So who knows where they're at.
So maybe that there's other Valkyries that are protecting those. Okay, so they definitely left it. There is space there.
A lot of space.
Tons of space.
Yeah,
interesting. Just 15 wellsprings. There could be more, possibly. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry.
Let's see. You got more cat. You got cats here. Yeah. Cats, dogs. It's just raining cats and dogs tonight, people.
She straight up just jumped up. I don't even know why.
All right, I'm going to let's move on. I'm going to read this next one. The next days. I think this was Thursday's. The Discord dump, and I'm gonna read it just because I'll tear my throat out. I don't care. I love this. I think this is my favorite one of the week, even with Fridays, which we'll get into it in a second. But I'm just like, and I'll say why in a second after I'm done reading this. Let me just put it up. Okay, designer's notes, day 24, a relentless pursuit. Yeah, see, I can't speak tonight. For infinite power. See, I can't talk. Imperatrator. I'm gonna say it how I think it sounds. It's probably all wrong. I'm sorry if I butcher this. Let me just move on.
All right, go ahead. Take your time.
Kayan strides effortlessly across the battlefields of Valhalla atop his mighty, custom-built, all-terrain fighting vehicle. call it ATV, FV if you want. Flanking defensive positions and spraying high caliber shells, oh it's so beautiful, onto his stunned adversaries with almost reckless abandon. The white-hot barrels of his rotary cannon are matched only by his fiery demeanor and intense rage as he charges into the enemy lines leading from the front. Imperator Cayenne is, I know I'm butchering that, I apologize, is the living manifestation of the Clockwork Combine's tenacity and ingenuity, bringing war and carnage right back to the doorsteps of their foes. And this is what I have to say about it real quick. Let me just bring up the full spread of this. We have a ATST in Heroscape, people. That's basically what it is. It is an ATST, and I cannot be more thrilled about this. Just look at this little guy just up there, just like just freaking away, guys. I'm just like, yeah. You know this is coming from Star Wars. I mean, I'll say Disney can sue me. I don't care. This is the imagination of something coming from Star Wars, and it just, my heart is just so full with this. This is definitely going to be in my army in the future, for sure. What are you guys' thoughts before my voice totally gives away?
I'm going to be that Star Wars jerk and tell you it's more of an ATRT, not ATST. That's all.
Point taken.
This guy I'd say looks like he's a large character, probably around maybe 7 or 8 maybe tall. Because like I said, I mean we're assuming that these characters. I like talking about what the card schematics are gonna be like. That's just how I roll. I like that. I think that this character is definitely going to be a large character. I don't think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be large. Probably like between 7 or 8 tall, assuming that him on his feet is like 3 or 4 tall. But I like that there's these characters and they're using the vehicles and technology. Not I mean they are attaching it to their bodies for armor and stuff, but they're more using it as, means of transportation, and using it to destroy things is so great.
Yeah, they're definitely stretching, I would say, the idea. They're definitely stretching the ideas of what was available in Heroscape in the past, because we've had our we got our dragons, right? They're big dragons with wings and stuff like that, and it was always new dragon design. How is this going to fit in our box? How is this going to fit on the map? That kind of idea. And then they dropped Sujoa, which was like the first big, I think, really big unit that wasn't a dragon. But we were so used to dragons being the biggest units in the game, and with this set coming out, it's not gonna be the case anymore. It won't be just the dragons. It's like, how are you gonna fit your air captain on the map? How are you gonna fit your imperator on the map? Like, we're gonna have so many different situations regarding like line of sight blockage and all this stuff. Like, I mean, thinking about hiding characters behind imperator, like, because if the legs are large enough, I mean, you could do that. You could hide characters behind those legs and like march them up and stuff. It's gonna be really interesting. I want to see how that dynamic's gonna affect the gameplay and like the map play and building things for them and having them a chance, like their strengths and their weaknesses. But like, yeah, and how's that climb gonna work? Oh gosh, I'm trying to get that up on ledges and stuff like that. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I don't think it can lose a ladder. That's all I'm saying.
Ladders are gone forever. That's new Heroscape. They got rid of them.
We're gonna finally get stairs.
Ladders are retconned. We're
actual
retconning
physical
ladders.
stairs now.
I would be in on jettisoning ladders. That would be actually a dream come true. Ladder rules are the dumbest rules in any game I've ever played. So if we could just get rid of ladders, dream come true. I'm more interested if this is like gonna even be like, I don't know. I see this mini and I think single space like Frost Giant or Deathwalker. Like is this a double space or is this a single space unit? I can see it like slightly larger than a Walker height-wise, but it doesn't, he's not a big creature, right? We're thinking 3 or 4, which means that thing is actually not that wide. Based on the concept art, it looks like around the same. It's very reasonable that could fit on like the D&D large or the large singles that like Deathwalker 9000 was on. So, and I'm a big fan if they do have these guys at like 3 and 4 size, like that's to me ideal.
Right.
I hadn't heard that until tonight, but I'm really a fan of that. I wouldn't want them at 5 or 6. I think it fits the faction so much more. I will say they chose a name that I will be painting mine to look like the Kanye bear. They named it literally Kanye, so it is what it is. But
or is that Kane?
I think it's pronounced Kane, and then you move one letter around. It's Kanye.
Yeah.
Kanye.
Confusing to
That's
Kanye.
literally the first thing
You just might as well just call it Kanye.
Oh wait, it's Kane.
I hadn't even seen the name until tonight, like right now, and then I look and it's I have to do a double take because I'm there's no way to call this character Kanye. Like,
oh, the names are big with this one.
Yeah.
Great.
Out of curiosity, on the topic of the Deathwalker, do we know what his real world height is? Because this thing here is probably 8 feet-ish if you factor in the approximate height of the creature, so I wasn't sure if that compares to the Deathwalker through the scale for figuring out whether it's 1 or 2 X base.
Well, so your knight is like not your knight because your knights are medium 4, but like your average like human is like 6 feet roughly, and it's like a medium 5-ish, right? That's roughly the scale. Is like a medium 5 figure is like sure. 5, 6 to 6-ish. So like a Deathwalker is what, like large 7? So Deathwalker would probably be 7.5 feet-ish, 7 to 8 range. So like I think this is probably right around there, right?
Yeah, I think
probably.
so.
That sounds about right. In that range.
In my imagining the size of Deathwalker right now, I think he's about double a human, but about maybe two or three spaces up. Yeah.
There he is.
Oh, yeah. I don't have his card anywhere, but is he 8 or 9? Or 7 or 8?
I think he's 7.
Do you have a human figure pulled up right next to him? A human-sized character or something?
He's got tons of them back there.
Yeah, so he's about double. Yeah, he's about double.
Yeah. Oh wow. So yeah, twice the size of the person.
Yeah. So this miniature could be similar and maybe even a little bit shorter than Deathwalker. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think someone had asked about the scale of the Vorid specifically, and he said they're like roughly human size, but not too.
I was picturing that comment. He said like around 4 feet. He said
a chipmunk
was a
is
number.
like 4 feet or something like that. Like a Vorid chipmunk would be like 4 feet, so like maybe dwarf size for the most part.
Yeah, so dwarf to knight size, right? Knights are like medium 4, so like that's like perfect, like for me, like woodland creatures where they're not gonna be stupid small like cutters, which I hate.
Yeah, I can't find my cutters all the time.
Yeah, and I mean Ryan, I think is the one that said like imagine painting like that. That would be just horrible painting cutters.
Yeah. That was their question. That was their actual question. Was like, were they going to be like Earth woodland creatures, where they're like literally a foot tall? And he's like, no. They're going to be humanoid, more humanoid, to where they're a small child.
No.
Oh, a big child actually.
Print you something
That's
tiny,
a big child.
So you really got to pay attention when you're painting. Amp up your painting skills. That you don't
Those are
have.
the ones I don't paint.
Each base is an entire squad of these things. They're like just tiny little things.
It's ridiculous.
Oh no.
It's microscopic. It's like Ant-Man, This is the idea we're going for, people. No, don't. Yeah.
Right.
Don't anybody take that. No, don't. Nobody run with that.
I think C3G has an Ant-Man character. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I've never got to play them. They did all the Marvel characters, I think, at this point.
Now, we're gonna get into, because there was an announcement for I think it's called PulseCon. We're gonna get into that in a second, but first we're gonna do Fridays, and I know this was something that everybody, like, I almost predicted this last week. I don't have this clip because I actually predicted kind of wrong, because I said that it was going to be like the son or a descendant of Drake and Raylan, and this turned out to be Drake himself. So I missed that by that much, but yeah. And this is a long read. Who wants it? Who wants
Go ahead, Jason.
A long read on this post?
Want me to read the day 25 notes?
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
All right, why not? So, designer's notes, day 25. Heroes never die. Happy Friday. See everyone on Monday.
I know I'm sorry, this is very difficult for you, Jason. I know. And,
I'm going to repeat that. I could repeat that 3 more times if you'd like.
okay,
You gotta say
sorry,
it
guys.
with
I
a
know
powerful
this is going
voice.
to take a
Gotta say it
long
with a
time.
powerful voice.
Jason, go
Now,
ahead.
the important question is, are they actually working on Monday? Because it is a holiday tomorrow.
He did
Chris,
say he was going to
and
post.
Carmine said he was going to post.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
He hasn't
For sure.
saved, so
But
That could
yeah,
be catastrophic if you didn't.
here
he did
it
actually
is.
thank us for asking, because he's like, "That's nice. He thought about my day off," but he said, but yeah, no, he's got them saved. So
Here we are. So
Yeah, I mean,
What he really means, he scheduled all these posts ahead of time, so an automated algorithm is gonna post on
Right.
Monday when he's
It's
on
a-
the beach somewhere.
yeah.
and Carmen's been a bot all along.
Oh my god.
AI
What will we find
AI
out next?
Discord user.
All right, what do you guys think? Is the jetpack cooler than any of those wing options?
Yeah.
I
I
like
think
it.
it's cool.
Why show
I
us
like
the
it.
wings if they're gonna give us the jetpack?
That's just the
Why
concept art,
show
you know.
us the potential? Why show me the potential?
I know. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry.
The wings are so cool.
And they tried like 4 different versions
Yeah.
too. They had one.
Yeah, and they were like, you know what? None of these work
They really
for
try
us.
to
We're
make
gonna
him a
just give him a
Valkyrie. Like
simple
The answer was like
they really
the-
try to
jetpack.
it
change
lessens
his
his speed.
class.
It would lessen his speed, and they wanted to keep
Yeah.
that speed ability.
The
Yeah.
Thorian speed.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh, that
Yeah.
does make sense.
Yeah.
That's what they said. It was more of a hit zone. So like it lessened his effectiveness, because then the special attacks would just go through like more easily than the smaller figure. If he has a bigger hit zone, then the Thorian speed wouldn't matter as much, just because they could see him from farther away, see him easier. That's what I gathered from. I don't know if it was in Carmine or actually Craig himself. I don't know where the quote came from, but it was just like to reduce his size. Maybe even was it his name Benjamin Harris, the guy that actually designed the unit? I don't know.
Oh.
Possibly. I know that like there was some speculation, primarily from me, on Discord when this came out, that I was saying, so is this actually Drake, or is this son of Drake? Because he looks very young, and if he is Drake, there's got to be a reason for that. And it was Van Ness himself who confirmed that yes, this is the
That is
Drake
Drake.
Alexander.
Yeah.
He just went ahead and said it. It was like, okay, thank you. So no speculation needed. This is Drake. And as to why he's not with a beard or old man Drake, I guess we will find out soon enough. Anyway,
How old
if we want to speculate on
Was
that.
Sergeant Drake Alexander?
I don't think they
I mean-
gave us an age, but he
If-
was.
If he was post World War II as a sergeant, he could be early 20s easily. He
Yeah.
might not be
True.
that old.
However, whatever the age gap
Yeah, it
was.
depends.
So
on
he
the-
could
it
still
depends
be
on
in
if
his
there's a
50s.
time- If there's whatever the time was between, like, Storm of the Tomorrow, Underdark to now Age of Annihilation. It just depends on the time frame. I
He
guess.
could have drank from the wellspring and
That
stopped
too.
aging.
That
Yeah,
too.
right.
There's lots of theories being thrown out there for that now.
I would like to point out in my original predictions video where I made crap up that one of mine was the timeline would be advanced just a few years, just enough so we still see old characters. And since we know a human's age timeline, I think I might be right on
I
that one.
think you might be.
Unless,
It's a
of course,
possibility.
unless you mentioned he drank from the wellspring and then threw my whole thing off. But
And
as long as that
he just
didn't
survived 50
happen,
years or
I'm
something.
right. Yes.
Immortality.
It's very true. Very
I
true.
feel like Drake would hate being immortal. He'd be like, Why? I don't want to
And
be immortal.
and I'm sorry, I'm gonna catch up on comments for a second because Justin is the man's still talking. So no, Justin, thank you so much for your comments here. I'm gonna catch up on what you're saying. You're saying the Clockwork Combine. I'm thinking the Clockwork Combine and the Ironclad will have a relationship similar to the Quarian and Geth in Mass Effect. The Quarians built the Geth, who later turned on the Quarians. Which Mass Effect, it's a game that is on my list. I haven't played yet. I don't know if any of you guys are Mass Effect guys, but anybody who's played it, I'm sure they know what you're talking about, Justin.
Yeah, I read
and
this
I
story,
would,
yeah.
I would agree if I've ever played the game. I do plan on playing the game. I just haven't yet. But yes, thank you. And he's like, I'm hoping that he, meaning Drake, gets a promotion to like General Drake or something. Possibility for sure.
Yeah, I think so. It's really funny because they call him Sergeant Drake Alexander, but like that's an Earth title. You know, that only applies to the United States military, and he's even mentioned in Thorman's journal to being the effective commander of the entire Northern Army. So he's already a higher rank in Valhalla if he used his Earth rank. But because I don't even know if Valhalla has ranks. You know, I don't even know what their military system is like. So he probably introduced himself as Sergeant, and then they thought that was his name.
Part of his name.
They call him, they call him. Because they don't understand Earth
yeah.
conventions. They don't understand how Earth works, so they're like, this human's called Sergeant, and he's just like, he's just like, he's just stuck with that name now. It's like, I'm Sergeant, yeah. Like, but you know, that's how he introduced himself or something. I that's my assumption, but I don't think he definitely has a lot more authority on Valhalla than his title gives him. So
In the concept art, I just love the look of his face. Doesn't look like there's a scar on his chin.
Looks like there's a few scars there.
Yeah.
like he's been through stuff.
But just that like it's almost like a wisdom or an authority look in his eyes, like he's been through stuff. I don't know how to, and he's still like kind of youthful, but he's just got that knowing look of like someone, like seasoned, who's been in battle but knows how to battle, and just how he's holding that sword, like either he's been training with the sword or is knows how to use it better. I'm glad he's keeping the sword. It's a nice look to him.
It's interesting that he still has the grappling hook.
Like the little thing on the
that's part
side.
of his arm now, because like
What's-
he had to.
Yeah, it's a mechanical arm.
Well, does the jetpack, do you guys think, give him full-fledged flying, or is it going to be like a super leap type ability?
Now
where
that's a question.
I think it just might be like a super leap.
Because of fuel or something like that.
Yeah. That. No, I didn't even.
But
think
if they were
about
going to
that.
give him wings, then I think they were thinking about giving him flying. But that's just what I've been thinking. Just I don't know. I think a flying Sergeant Drake is scary, but
I would
that's his
say
upgrade.
I would say flying, because the last one basically had force space super leap, like basically force space flying. So like if you look at like the progression, you have the first one who can only move one space and can move like up and down however many levels, and then you have the second one which can like basically fly for 4 spaces. And you figure if he moved on from just an arm, like a grapple arm, to a jetpack, he would hopefully have some advancement on that. I'm hoping he's a human champion so I can bond him with knights, but we'll see.
Right.
Sick.
Oh wait, yeah, he doesn't have his metal arm.
No, I think it's in there.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
there.
it's clothing,
That's-
and you can see kind of metalish here.
It looks like
Kinda looks like
his
the grapple gun.
bandages.
The grapple glove from Fortnite.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it was his the result of his battle with Cyprian. He lost his arm, and they had to like. Well, he didn't,
Whether or
lose
not
his
that's going
arm,
to be
but
canon,
got
though, now,
wounded. They got
Jeremy,
wounded.
might
so he had
might
to
be the
go.
question.
What's that?
Whether or not
Oh.
that's canon now, though, might be the question. They might maybe change that.
I mean, it's in Thorman's journal. I think they're keeping the Thorman's journal at least.
Okay.
But I don't. Yeah, 'cause that was like the go-to. But we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that-
Interesting comments. So now, I mean,
Mhm.
we're kind of wrapped up for these Discord dumps, and we do have something else posted. But before we get into PulseCon, any final thoughts about these for this past week?
I'll eat my words because I said that we didn't need a Sergeant Drake 3.0, and I mean we got one. Whether we needed it or not, I feel like it did kind of not unify the community for a second, but it just everybody was commenting, "Oh, that's sick! I can't wait! Like, thank you for bringing him back!" Like, just after the whole Clockwork Combine week, where everybody was just bagging on him real hard, just to see that, it kind of brought the community together. So I did like that.
Yeah,
like, that was.
You got
the one they needed to drop this week.
You got to double down. Sergeant Drake 3.0 is going to be the reason that AOA fails. You heard it here first. That's exactly what Ben just said. So, no. Sergeant Drake 3.0 is why Heroscape 2.0 is going to fail.
It actually gave me hope, though, because if there's a Sergeant Drake 3.0, then I'm going to need a Torkel Na 2.0. They reanimated him, gave him another mount or something like that. Half of his body's gone, maybe split in half this way or this way, but they need to bring him back because this just all points to Raylan 3.0 as well, which I don't think we need another Raylan.
What if that's
because is she going to make the other two scopes unplayable? Is she going to be the new?
If there's a Sergeant Drake 3.0, there's got to be a Raylan 3.0. No arguments.
But everyone's still going to use 1.0 because it's the
right. She's still going to suffer from the Scottie Pippen syndrome.
Yeah, it really is. No, the reason I feel that these characters, especially Drake and definitely most likely Raylan, these main story characters are coming back for AOA is not because that we need them or not, but we need them in the sec for new players to be introduced to them. Because as long as assuming that this does incredibly well, that we all hope it does, and we all have to encourage people to support this game so it does well, so that maybe we do get reprints of old stuff back. Let's hope. But just in case that we don't get that particular situation to happen, now we have a new Sergeant Drake Alexander, we'll have Shuri, we'll have Sonlin, we'll have these big characters back in the game for young people, older people, and even us to enjoy these characters in their new form. So.
Well, and you can definitely do them in such a way that it's really cool for the experienced players. Like, just from an army building perspective, you see both Big Drake and Small Drake get used. There's no reason that like it doesn't have to turn into a Raylan 1.0 and 2.0 situation. Like, you can make it so that both are options that you would use in different situations. I mean, Little Drake to an extent is viewed as a budget version of the Bigger Drake, but in reality, the Bigger Drake is really only for very more specific scenarios, whereas the Rise of the Valkyrie one is a little more easy to throw in different places. And I just don't see why, Shiori hopefully will just completely outclass old Shiori, but doesn't really matter because old Shiori is basically unplayable. But like for Q10, there's no reason new Q10 has to be strictly better. He can offer you different choices in army building, which are really cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I like that a lot.
Alternatively, for formal tournaments, you just ban the old miniatures.
There you go.
Thank you for that positive note, Jason. That's it.
Raylan 1.0 been banned.
Wizards of the
a lot of
Coast over there in the Hasbro mothership, and they regularly ban old sets of Magic the Gathering. So that may be a way to solve the Raylan 1.0 problem. Is now the new one is all you can use in official tournaments.
Yeah, we'll see. How
if you want to go ahead and play your own games, go do what you
sure.
want. But if you want to be part of the formal tournament scene,
I'm not sure they're going to have like Heroscape is very unique in the fact that it never had formal tournaments.
An official tournament, yeah.
Like, I think there were only maybe 1 or 2 Gen Cons at the very start that were official, like actually ran by Hasbro. I think it might have only been 2006. And then by I think 2007, it was the community running it, getting prize support. So it's really an unprecedented situation where there are so many tournaments, and yet there is never like you look at any other game, and all of them are based on this is the rule set down by the company. They send the prize support to the local stores. The local stores have to run this format, do it in this way or do it in one of these couple ways. It can occasionally deviate, but that's how you're used to seeing these tournaments for all these games. And then now this is like the Wild West. Like, you know, Heroscape is such a weird, really a weird community in so many respects with, you know, formats like if you told Magic the Gathering players that, like, yeah, you know, every event you're gonna have a different deck size, like, they would look at you like you're crazy. Like,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
like the way we do things is just so different. It's just not. It's like it's so much about it. You know, when people say like, "Oh, this one thing is weird," it's like, no, the whole system's weird. Like nobody else does it this way. Like Fantasy Flight Games have their directives on how you're gonna have organized play. Like same with every other game. Like you know. I know, so that was way off topic, but
No, I mean it's
so true. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even touch tournament play till ScapeCon, so I'm super new with that. So.
Ditto. What a learning experience it was.
This is my first tournament experience as well. So.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
All right.
I think Jason, did you want to say something?
I don't know if I keep going down that tournament rat hole, but
Oh yeah.
Whatever. What did you want to say? Something?
I think they. Oh, I think they would probably try to do formal tournaments, much like other game systems, because those can be exceptionally profitable. Hardcore tournament players will throw lots and lots of money at games. And I think that's kind of why Games Workshop did what they did with Warhammer and Age of Sigmar. It's the tournament players will buy the latest army every time it comes out, whereas old guys who only had one army would spend $50 a year to buy the one new miniature that came out for our army.
Right.
We'll have to see how they market it. But hey, I mean, more tournaments, the better, you know. So it's fine.
As long as I like playing the way. Okay, I'm done now.
All right, Jason. No, thank you. All right, so now there was one more item on Discord that got announced this past week. Very interesting little bit, and here I'm just going to open this up and take a read at this. So this is now from Encarmine. This is from someone called Intergalactic Patrick. He says, "Everyone, hi! I'm a marketing guy at Avalon Hill. Since launch, I have been lurking in the shadows. Ooh. But I thought I'd drop some more heat today and confirm that Heroscape will be on the HasLab crowdfunding platform." So this is going to be a crowdfunded thing. "We will be doing a panel and dive into the details of Age of Annihilation during PulseCon on October 1st. More to come soon. See you there." So this is something that's also got people excited. We're about to know more, like within a month, less than a month now. We're gonna know more about this. Probably whatever, you know, they plan to crowdfund. I hope it's a bunch of stuff. You know, where it's just like I can't make up my mind. Just give me 3 everything. But
I think we'll actually might possibly see everything in like physical form.
Possibly.
Yeah, like
leading up to then.
Possibly.
Like all the concept art I think we're still gonna get concept art from now to October 1st.
Now,
which is still a lot.
I have a question about this. This PulseCon 2022, is this like a digital con, or is there like a real live?
I think
it's a stream.
It's gonna be a stream. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 2-day stream, 29th and the 1st, and of course Heroscape will be on the 1st.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, it's great that they announced it. Now we have like a light at the end of the tunnel to see. Okay, you know, you've been giving us all this tidbits of information. Just take our money, please. And now they're giving us this option to take.
And we can finally give them money.
Yeah,
I think.
Yep.
Because if it's gonna go live, that's Saturday too. So whatever they're gonna be showcasing us, I'm assuming the credit card option's gonna be on the website.
Every type of option. And to everybody listening, just like, you know what I'd love to see? Break their servers. If we get enough people watching this, break the servers for all the people that would be, you know, being part of this crowdfunding thing. Because I know there's gonna be. I don't know if there's gonna be enough to break the servers, but there should be. There absolutely should be.
Yeah, I'm really curious to know what they are going to show us. I mean, like I said, I hope it's everything we've seen concept-wise, in some kind of physical form of images or even 3D models of everything. Because we still haven't seen terrain. We don't know what terrain's going to look like. I assume it's going to look exactly the same, but I don't know.
They said it was going to be two-toned, but they said they don't have. They're not able to share any more information yet.
Right.
Yeah. So I guess they're just being, dramatic about it and just being like, oh, we'll just make them wait. Because everybody wants to know.
I hope to see some type of like starter set to where you get to see like in a photograph, dice, order markers, playing like this cards, the actual terrains, the miniatures, the rule books. I'm really looking forward to the rule books. I really am. Just open up and just spending an hour just looking through the thing. Is going to be, if there's going to be like sometimes with the old starter sets you had like posters or whatever. I hope they do some of that. I hope there's something like that to show visually for whatever they're crowdfunding. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm predicting. That'll be a prediction. We'll see if it comes true.
And I believe they are working on a brand new compendium too. So I'm sure at some point that's going to be part of like the tier list. I assume like I'm getting a physical book, which would be really interesting as well.
Has anybody participated in the crowdfunding approach to a board game before?
I have.
Because I haven't.
I've
just from what I got from this, it seems good to me. It seems beneficial because thinking about it, it kind of gave me some anxiety, like when they drop it and when it's in stores, people are going to buy up all the copies, so it's going to be sold out, or something like that, or the scalpers are going to get in,
pre-orders,
sell it, 4 times X, whatever. But now, if you have the chance to pre-order it, everybody's going to be able to get anything that they wanted from these sets. And I hope too, like, are they going to have? We've talked about this before, the Ironclad in one box set, and then the collective, the Clockwork Combine in one package, so people can literally buy what they wanted. And I think that would be beneficial too. But then also, like they've also said, they might not have a master set in the traditional sense of what we're thinking as a master set. So are there going to be dice? Where are the dice going to be? Are there going to be order markers? Will every little pack that I come with have its own set of order markers and its own dice or something like that? But I'm just really curious about that as well. But I also, that's coming back to my original point. Like I know that, Zombicide? Games like that were started on a crowdfunding platform and they became really popular. I was actually able to play Zombicide at ScapeCon. So it was just a really awesome game. And I was like, wow, this is cool. And then just by talking to Sir Heroscape and Austin Blood, he said that they said that it was started as a crowdfunding platform. And now those original sets that they there were almost exclusive sets. So now if you go on eBay to try and find the original crowdfunded, it's super expensive. So that's actually a pretty good, if we get in the ground floor and we're able to get that first crowdfunding platform HasLab exclusive set, that's beneficial to us because then we know we're going to get it so that later on down the road, it's actually, just appreciates in value. So I think that's, that's what I've heard, just coming from the Hero Quest, how they revamped Hero Quest, how Zombicide was, a Kickstarter-esque before. So just curious, what crowdfunding platforms did you guys try, and then did you guys like the turnout or whatever happened?
If I'm not mistaken, didn't High Ground started as a Kickstarter?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. High Ground did have a Kickstarter a while back. I don't know, I think it's been like 4 or 5 years now that they did, and it was a very successful Kickstarter. And they were able to, release all the STL.
With the different land.
Yeah, exactly.
Like stretch goal for lava, stretch goal for ice, stretch goal for the trees. Yep. And they hit all of them.
Yep,
so.
They did. And so I was able to get the STLs for all of that because I'm like, I want this for ToV because they're just aesthetically, they're just so beautiful and they mix I'd say about like 98% of the time they mix very well with the regular Heroscape terrain tiles, and it's just so nice aesthetically. for them. And I mean, the 3D printing, I mean, I didn't have a 3D printer at that time. I didn't know how to 3D print. I'm not that type of mind to do that type of 3D printing, but I ended up getting an Ender 3 and printing most all of these tiles. And I just say, for anybody out there who's interested in 3D printing, Ender 3, it's really cheap. You could get these things for like $100 now. And there's so many tutorials on YouTube to build it up and print it. And yeah, it does take time. It does take a little bit of thought, but if a simpleton like me can do it, anybody can really do it. So definitely invest, and not only for just terrain, but also for miniature printing as well. So yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that type of crowdfunding, that was fun. It's fun when it's successful, and they actually do what they say they're going to do.
This could go several different ways. I mean, the good news is Hasbro's running on their own platform and they're a reliable company. So if the production goals, whatever it is for the campaign, are met, I think it's probably safe to assume you're gonna get an actual product. Unlike on Kickstarter with some random company, there have been some very high-profile tabletop game failures where they met their goal with lots of money and the whole project collapsed. But this is Hasbro. I think you're good in that regard. The biggest concern I would have, because the real losers of this, is going to be the tabletop game stores, because all your money is going to Hasbro instead of to your local gaming stores. As of a few months ago, my friend who runs the game store I hang out at could not order HeroQuest. I tried to buy the stuff for HeroQuest through him, and he was unable to get them. I don't know if that's still the case, and that becomes a problem for the Heroscape community because I was reading on the little FAQ here. Basically, Hasbro says they reserve the right to possibly sell these products to game stores or not. So if Heroscape ends up being online only and it's not available in local game stores, there are going to be game stores who will not let you run tournaments because they can't sell the product. It's going to vary from store to store. If they're run by a nice person, they'll let you bring the game in and have fun with it, but there are definitely game stores out there who, because they can't get the product, will not let you run an event there. And that could be a bit of a problem, but obviously this is not new. Kickstarter's been eroding game store profits for a number of years now, especially like you mentioned Zombicide, which made millions of dollars, but Zombicide is available for the most part in game stores now. So we'll see what happens.
There'll probably be an eventual thing. If they allow it, I'm sure it's going to be later on. It won't be right away. But yeah, that is a valid point, Jason, and a concern.
I mean, sometimes these Kickstarters though have like retail pledges, right, where like a retailer can back and get, let's say, 10 copies of everything, including all the exclusives, and then they can sell it, and they get a discounted rate, like a company, like you could set it up in such a way that it works out for the retailers. But the problem is it's kind of it's completely in Hasbro's control as to whether they want to take that step, right? If they actually do set it up well so that retailers can get in on it, is completely outside of anybody else's control. And just gonna have to see how Hasbro does it. I've done several Kickstarters, but they've all been through reputable companies, like companies I knew would deliver, so I didn't have any issues there. CMON being one, Cool Mini or Not, and then the other being White Wizard Games, and I think maybe one or two others as well. My experiences with them have been good. You definitely have situations though where, like, let's say this faction is Kickstarter exclusive, like a new player in even a year could be screwed, right? Or let's say more realistically, like even in 2 years, not screwed, but like, yeah, they're going to be paying, let's say, if I paid $20 for this and it was Kickstarter exclusive, they're probably going to be paying $200, right? Like you're often seeing like a 10x on something being exclusive. You saw it with Blood Rage, and then they re-released like the Blood Rage exclusives, and I got in on that luckily. But that's just the way it is. Like I don't have Rising Sun, one of those big CMON games. Like I don't have the playmat, and the playmat now is like, last I looked, it's $100, and you could, if you had backed it, you would have gotten it for I think 20 or 30, because that's what I got my Ankh and Blood Rage ones for. So it's just like, you know, you're looking at a 5 to 10x multiplier on anything that's exclusive usually. But it, you know, and that's just not great for new players. They can do alternate sculpts. They can do, you know, just upgrades, like, you know, upgrade order markers or wound markers or dice or whatever. Like, there are so many other ways they can incentivize backing. And the people that say like they have to have Kickstarter exclusive figures, or like really Kickstarter exclusive anything, or HasLab exclusive anything, like whatever you want to call it, like, people are going to back anyways. Like, the whole community is going to back this. Like, I'm going to back it regardless of whether there's any exclusive, like, because I want it, and I want to make sure it happens. And yeah, so like, you might lose out, sure, on a few people not backing, like a few random people, but for the most part, like, the people in the community that are hardcore players and that want the product are gonna back it for the product and don't need extra incentives. Like, that's the argument. Like, and I get it. Like, if you're a new company, or even if you're an established company, if you want to push this, you know, new game, and like CMON, like, they usually release a game and then they're done. Like, Zombicide, like, there's been all these iterations and stuff, but for the most part, it was like Rising Sun. The Kickstarter happened, they dropped it. They haven't released a single thing for it since it dropped back in like 2017, right? And it was wildly successful, made them millions, several $1 million. I think it was 3 or 4. But that's their business model. They drop it and they're done. They move on, you know. So of course people are like, they need to get people in on that initial drop because that's how they make their money. But you know, for Hasbro with Heroscape, even if everybody doesn't back right away, they're still going to get their money later. You know, like, I don't know. I don't think they need Kickstarter exclusive figures, and I would hope that they don't have figures. But like, again, alternate sculpt model, like, give me Drake with wings as an alternate sculpt model as an exclusive. Like, I'm in. Like,
yeah, oh yeah,
like,
for sure.
You can do cool stuff like that, you know. And I mean, to their comment on the line of sight, like, I just figured that his wings wouldn't be hit zone personally. Like, that's a pretty easy fix in my opinion. It's just like, guess what? You can't shoot the wings. But
yeah. But I mean, they had, you know, Gen Con exclusives, and you know, they had that before. And like I said, I don't want them to do exclusives. I don't think there should be any type of exclusive. If you want to go out and buy the Heroscape now, go out and buy it. You know, and I just hope that there is no such thing as an exclusive. I don't want to see people sculpting things, you know, scalping things on eBay for hundreds of dollars. I hate seeing that. It's terrible. So it's we want to be able to see this game, you know, flourish in the sense that, look at the other Avalon Hill games. You know, I know Hero Quest was on HasLab. I don't know if Betrayal was, or even Risk Legacy. Which my friends and I have played before, and that's in Target. Like, you can go out and get Risk Legacy in Target. I think I've seen Betrayal in Target too.
Yeah,
so you know, Avalon Hill games are in retail stores, so it all depends on how well this does. Maybe we'll see it in Walmart and in Target again. You know, that's what we're hoping for. So we can get, you know, hopefully eat our cake. What is it? What is the phrase? Eat our cake too. Yeah. You know, in the sense that we'll go and get our pre-orders and get everything that we want all at one shot. And then if we wanted by chance more, if there are such things as commons in AOA, then we can go to Target and get more, or maybe order some more online. But I'm hopeful for this. I don't think this is a bad thing by all means. I don't see this as a negative. You know, it's a really good way to gauge with the community, for Hasbro to gauge with the community to see how much do you want this? How well? Like, this is a really great way to see, like, okay, here's a really good way to, instead of just, you know, going on the internet and Chris Nate out asking everybody, what do you guys think of AOA? What do you guys think of AOA? You know, it's just like, here's a website, here's a bar. They want to see if it exceeds the bar. You know, as the community, we got the hammer and we're waiting to hit the thing, and it goes in the little peg to fly up and hit the bell. You know, let's get that bell destroyed.
And you talk about like the purpose of it. You know, yes, one purpose is to make money, but like, So there was a game that Fantasy Flight Games, who does like X-Wing and stuff, done a ton of games, but they published this game called Star Wars Destiny. It was this Star Wars, game where you basically, it was a mix of like Magic with dice rolling, essentially, at its core. Came out Gen Con, they previewed it at Gen Con 2017. Now the kind of the backstory of this is everybody saw it online and basically said, this looks terrible. Everybody trashed it. They go to Gen Con, they preview it, and everybody who plays it loves it. However, they weren't releasing it until I believe September, the next month. The problem was everybody wanted it. They only printed to what they thought the demand was going to be based, because you don't just hit print and the stuff magically appears. Like, you're printing this overseas, you have to get it shipped. It takes time. It takes time to get the printers, to get everything set up. Hasbro's a bigger company. They have better infrastructure, and I get that. But still, they went based on what they thought the reception was going to be, that, hey, not that many people want this. And then the local game stores for the first 3 to 4 months couldn't get the set because it was this collectible game where people wanted to buy the blind packs of stuff, and they only printed a small amount of this stuff because everybody online was flaming it. Everybody was saying, this sucks, this is going to be terrible. And then everybody at Gen Con plays it and they're like, this is amazing. Like, why? Like, we want to play this a ton. And now you have everything getting scalped on the secondary market immediately. You have all these issues, and that was a huge, Destiny died at the very beginning of 2020, pre-COVID. And one of the issues, like that, if you want to look at a case study of a game mismanaged, like Destiny, I love the game. You talk about everything they could have done wrong as a company, some of which was not their fault, but some of which, was. Destiny is really a fascinating case study, but really they didn't fully recover from that huge stumble, because when you launch a game, you want to get the players in quick. You want to get everybody engaged. Like, it's the worst thing you can do, especially in a market and in a tabletop environment where it's like the next big thing comes. There's always a new thing. You got to get the people hooked quick. You don't want that stumbling block. And so this long rant is basically just like, running the Hasbro Pulse campaign is a great way to gauge and be able to print, let's say this amount of stuff plus 10% or whatever you think is going to be the right way to do it. But okay, I have this much I need to print, and I know I have this much already sold, and I know I have this much already spoken for. And there's huge value to that, rather than playing the guessing game, which is, again, it has been an issue for companies in the past, the guessing game.
Wow, that's a crazy story. Can you imagine? Wow.
Well, and you look online, and like if you see a picture of Destiny, it's got these chunky dice, and they look like I don't know, garish almost, like, and the colors, but then in person they look a lot better. They just do. But again, everybody was just looking at this online and saying, wow, that's gonna suck, oh, you're rolling dice and drawing cards, that's gonna be too random. But it turns out, there's lots of ways to manipulate the dice, and it's a really, really fun game. It's quick and people loved it, and but just couldn't buy it.
For sure.
The other advantage of a crowd funding system is Hasbro can effectively have multiple cost points for their product on the back end, and depending on how much money they raise, they can adjust the details of what the final product would actually be before they put an order in. So that essentially this HasLab process is going to give them a budget for their manufacturing process. Whereas if you do a traditional thing, you got to figure that budget out ahead of time, order your 10,000 products, and hopefully be able to sell them, and hopefully, like Mike was saying, hopefully guess the right number and not get too low or too high and have all sorts of bad things happening. Last year in Games Workshop's financial report, they issued an apology over one of their products they released because they way underestimated how many people would purchase this one box set. They sold out, and the prices on eBay went through the roof, and people were not happy.
Wow.
Right. So the whole HasLab system will give them exactly what amount to manufacture, but also what's the best way of manufacturing to meet the game's profitability with given their number of orders and stuff.
Yeah, and I think I know, like, Chris watches this live stream sometimes on YouTube, and I know there's other people than Avon Hill who do as well. And just so you guys, if you guys are watching like these last few minutes of conversation, I think this is some stuff you guys need to hear. Just take account. If it's stuff you've already learned and already doing, great, but just take this as an insight from the Heroscape community just to make this whole process so much better. So absolutely, yeah, wonderful thoughts, guys. Now,
yeah, listen to us, but also don't listen to us.
All
at the same time.
Help us.
Right, yeah.
I'm
And
pretty sure they're already well aware of all this. I had talked before in one of his early episodes about there's some oddities with the way the Hero Quest was produced that I would not expect Hasbro to do, but I think it was a budget thing. But you can go back and listen to all that later.
for sure.
Yeah, and if anybody's interested in the Destiny and just games in general and how companies manage games, Team Covenant is a podcast at /local game store, but really Team Covenant did a 6-part series, I believe, on how to kill a game. And they, in each of them episodes, they break down like, this is one way, and it turns out, yeah, Destiny fits into like every bucket. And as a former Destiny player, it's like, yep, they did that wrong. Yep, they did that wrong. Oh yeah, production issues. You know, they didn't let you draft for the first 3 sets, which is like the worst thing you can do in a collectible game, because drafting gets people to buy stuff. They didn't release a draft pack though until set 4 that would let you draft the stuff. So it's like, you know, it just again a masterclass in mismanagement, really. Even though it's a great system, it's such a simple and clean system, and you know, but of course, I'm sure like I suspect Hasbro has all this stuff figured out, know how to do it, but really from my perspective, a campaign is like really because you don't want to underprint and you don't want to overprint. If you overprint, you know, and you have all this extra product, that really disincentivizes you to, you know, produce more stuff. And if you underprint, you have all these issues that we just spoke about, you know, prices through the roof, scalping, players get turned away, go to other systems, you know. Really, the campaign is, from my perspective, the right way to do it, you know.
And Mike, you said that's Team Covenant?
Yeah, Team Covenant.
Okay, I'll try. For those of you watching on YouTube, I'll try to have a link in that description below as well. If I can, I'll find it. I'll find it after the stream, and so that way that information will be for you to look up at your leisure. And if no one else has anything to say, I'm gonna move on to the next segment. If everybody's okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So what we're going to move on to next now is YouTube comments. We basically cover the comments from those of you who watch these episodes on YouTube. Thank you so much for the support on the Tales of Hell YouTube page. And just going to read some of the comments you have, some of your thoughts about what we were talking about on last week's live stream and discussion on YouTube there. So let me bring this up first. I love we usually have repeat people talking, and some of these guys are getting really in depth with some of their stuff. So this might take us a minute, but let me get to the small.
Paul, he had like a three-part comment.
Yeah, I think so. I'm going to probably get to that one last. So what I'm going to hit first is Steve Munar. Sorry if I butchered your name. But says, he's talking about the PulseCon. So huge news, October 1st, Hasbro PulseCon announced their panel. Will show off AOA set, as well as announce the crowdfunding information. So happy to have this. So the 29, or whatever many days now it is, day countdown begins, Heroscapers. Yes, and I didn't reply, but yes, Steve, we know, and we actually just talked about it. So thank you so much for the comment. And let's see, move on. And we have a comment, and Justin, who was commenting live, also commented on last week's video as well. He says, I always wanted centaurs in Heroscape and 2 centaurish creatures that were teased with the DLO. It wasn't what I expected, but can't wait to get my hands on them. Hopefully, don't ruin the figs with my subpar paint job. I just started painting because Heroscape is returning. Good for you, Justin. Good for you. I'm with Joe. I want to see stats and cards. We all do. Looking forward to the upcoming week and learning more about the Clockwork Combine. they're my favorite faction so far, but I think I've said the same with every faction reveal. I need to start saving now if I'm going to get 3 of everything. I think that's catching on when I say it's like, yeah, I'm going to get 3 of everything. I think everybody wants to do that now.
Now I know I'm supposed to buy multiples.
Everything release has been unique so far, so not yet.
Yeah.
But 1 to open, one to save on the shelf, and then just one to have.
1 to sell.
I don't know why you want 3, Ryan, but
save the
third
box
one
sets once if they disappear again.
Or for me, it'll be like doing giveaways, because I mean ToV does giveaways a lot, so I'll probably like give away some sets.
I've literally thought about that too.
Yeah, Ben. I mean, same for you, and probably same for you too, Joe. Sometime in the future, if you're thinking about doing that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, no, I just play them myself.
No, I was mentioning on my previous stream, I have a ton of uniques, and I thought it would be a really cool idea to like help people get into the game prior to Age of Annihilation's release, is by, hey, here's some uniques to get you started, kind of just spreading the love, and it's just like, I don't need 30 Raylins, like I have a lot of, but it's like, because when you're buying all those terrain sets, a lot of people bought a bunch of Rise of Valkyrie but for the terrain. And now that they're selling it, it comes with all of these uniques, and it's not, you can't build multiple uniques, so why keep them? So it's like, I was thinking of like doing small little sets to like get people into the game early, so they can start playing while they wait, and like get the conversation going. But yeah, no, it's
absolutely,
it's pretty cool to see. Like I'm excited to get all back into just the community in general. Like
For sure.
it's been real fun.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Justin, for the comment. Now let's get into the last, but certainly not least, comment. This actually took 2 windows worth of photographs to get, and I think you're right. I think this is Paul Demon Hunter Pillar, P86. Thank you for commenting on it. So he's like, here's my thoughts on some of the posts this last week on your stream today, which was last week. Number 1, Skyen of the Wild. I love that his cape is supporting the figure off the ground. We finally have a flying figure that is actually flying, or floating, anyway. Exactly. B, is he attacking the city dwellers, or the city dwellers attacking him? Why can't it be both, C, the fact the description uses the terms snarling and pack makes me think it could be the 2-headed dogs that he has symmetry with, possibly. Theory, Volorak is a Valkyrie who discovered the wellspring on Hawkland and has been steadily building an army on his island, and is now confident enough to invade the mainland, potentially after the other generals have worn themselves down fighting each other. That is a very possible
I like that
lore
theory.
possibility.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun one.
Now I have another window, but any comments on that? On that comment so far?
What race is Volak? I know we just heard that name, but that ack at the end it gives me orc vibes, like Nirak and Grimnak and Kornak and Volnak.
No, we don't have. All we know is that they are from Hawkland, and I think like the vibes remind me of like, so remember, Drake's sword is the katana of Thorian, and we have the sword of reckoning that Agent Carr uses. Like there's all these like relic weapons that were handed down from these generals to the people that they summoned, right? There's Valhallan relics. So I want to say that that's what they're trying. They're evoking that same style of, it's like you have this magician from another planet that's been given a magical relic of Valhalla to enhance his already potent powers of communicating with beasts. But that's the thing. Who is Volorak? Why Hawkland specifically? Like, does that, like, and that's why, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead at any point, but like, we're still trying to figure out, I think it was Avalon Bill said that there was a hint that was dropped in the concept boards that no one has caught on yet. And so we're all like, who is it? What is it? And like my betting is like this name drop, because it was the first time we got something Valhalla specific, a name from Valhalla. that hasn't been used yet. I'm like, there's something really important about that name, and we're about to find out. But that's my guess, because no, I don't think anyone's guessed it yet. If I missed it, I don't think anyone's effectively figured out Avalon Bill's challenge. So we're still trying to figure it out.
yeah. That's making everybody like say what?
Doing math or something. I saw someone adding numbers and like trying to figure out if the numbers meant something. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, this is we're starting to get into the tinfoil stuff. Like, but it's really funny. Yeah. So there's, for those watching, those checking out all the stuff, there's something we don't know yet that has been told, but no one has caught on to it yet.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Do some digging, do some sleuthing. They'll tell us if we don't figure it out. They said they'll tell us that's PulseCon, but we got like 3 weeks to figure it out. So.
Eventually, yeah. So, or he said after. He said after. PulseCon.
Oh yeah.
During
after.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you tell us if we do figure it out, or are they just torturing us for the sheer fun of it?
You know, who knows?
All the above.
We don't know. All the above. They enjoy all our reactions. Like we're a lot of entertainment for them.
Yeah, they're having a lot of fun with it, which is fine. It's fine. They've been working hard on this for like however long we've been working it, so they need a little bit of fun. All right, let me move on to the second part of the comment here. Again, this is from Paul Demon Hunter. 2, Master of the Tides. The note on the sea does not like to be restrained reminds me of the river god in Prince Caspian that Aslan tells Bacchus to free by destroying the bridge of Bruna. Number 3, Vidar's secret lair, where he's stockpiling an army, is the biggest cliffhanger that sticks out to me in all the lore. Number 3, I loved your lore section in this video. I think it would be awesome if you continue, where you pick one topic, or perhaps a few of Thorum's journals and discuss, or heck, maybe even just start trying to break down the chronological storyline from beginning when the things were dropped, encompassing everything from the comics, videos, bios, backs, and boxes, etc. And yes, Demon Hunter. I don't think it's going to be tonight because my throat's starting to go, but I would definitely going to discuss the journals more in depth, go through them one by one in future podcasts, and get some words from us novices and lore master when it comes to the story, the lore, and the depth of Heroscape and what it could possibly mean for Age of Annihilation in the future as well. For sure. Any thoughts, you guys, from that last comment? Nada, nothing. Okay.
No, I mean, of course, appreciation for.
Yeah. Again, thank you, Demon Hunter.
I mean, we're gonna go into more. We
have a lot of time every Sunday to go through it all.
We just rambling about Heroscape. You just come in and listen to us ramble about Heroscape.
Yeah. No, it's a very humbling thing too. It's like you got people encouraging us, like podcast.
We want more
podcast.
No, that's really nice.
Don't encourage me. Do not encourage me.
Don't you threaten me with that.
That'll bring out
a good time. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Next level of crazy. You do not want to see that. Okay, we'll do it. But
we'll encourage people to post their own ideas and theories in the comments, and we'll rate them whether they're good or bad.
Yeah, there you go.
We'll rate them all bad. No good ideas. No good ideas here.
Not ours. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're all.
Yeah.
We're done here and just shut you all down. Anyway, so like I said, my health isn't 100%, so I was thinking of doing a journal tonight, but I'm actually we're 2 hours into the live stream. I'm just I'm just gonna call it a night, rest for a week, and then come back strong for whatever comes to us. It's just like every week is just a wonderful surprise. It's just so lovely. But yeah, I'm gonna close up for tonight, and just have that be the last comment thing that we discussed tonight. Again, it's wonderful for you guys to be here joining me tonight, and we're gonna all go around, give our final thoughts on tonight, and then close. And I'm gonna start first with our special guest tonight, Mike. And I know you did mention like everything to go to, but you also have a podcast yourself. Is that not right?
I do.
Yes, you do. So I'd like you to promote that as well, because I know we have listeners of that podcast here. And it would be a disservice not to mention that, and so I wanted to bring that up. So please, sir, give us your final thoughts, and as well as where people can go to find out more about what you produce and what you make.
Yeah, so again, for me, this is my favorite week of reveals and it's really not close. Super excited about this faction. Really want to see how they function, but even without knowing that, like, this is the theme for me that really clicks. As far as other stuff, I run Casters of Valhalla. You can find us on basically anywhere. We have a lot of planned episodes that just like kind of don't happen, so we record fairly sporadically. It's really just whenever, and like we recorded a couple like more recently, and they all got canned because at this point, like, if I don't think something's good, I'll just can it. I'm getting pickier because like we have like 24 episodes, which doesn't seem like a lot, but to me it's a lot, because it's like, okay, unless it's really something that I think is good, like, I'm just gonna can it and it's not gonna get released. And so I'm getting pickier, which is, I guess, good and bad. Anyways, so I run that. I also am getting the local scene in New England started again. So if anybody's interested, I'm running actually on October 1st. I'll be at a game store up here in Springfield, Mass. So if you're in the general like New England area and can make it out, would love to see you there. It's gonna be, I think we're expecting like 16 people, which is the most we've had at a New England tournament since probably 2014 or so. It's been a long time. Really excited about that, honestly. We're doing a thing where basically we're featuring one map maker's maps at each one, so like you can really see the style of like map makers. We're kind of moving through the years too, starting with like some of the biggest ones from back in the day, like Dignan and Mad Wookie and Game Bear, and kind of moving to like the more modern map makers. So it's gonna be pretty cool to see like at each event, like, okay, this is kind of how their maps really function, and then like you can really kind of see the progression over the years. Apart from that, Emery48 on YouTube, Emery4848 on Twitch is where we are streaming and then releasing games. We're doing right now competitive games of 400 points, really cheesy armies, so knights and dwarves and stingers and Q9 rats and all the fun stuff. He doesn't like playing the cheese, so I'm forcing him to learn how to play the cheese. Just feel like, you never know what the meta is going to look like after AOA, but he should still go into it having an understanding of how these top units, function. So that's kind of the goal, is to get him up to speed with a lot of that stuff. Apart from that, I mean, ScapeCon, it's cool, it's fun. It's basically a bunch of tournaments where we all hang out afterwards.
And there's EscapeCon 3 happening next year, right? Tell us a little bit about that for a second.
Yeah. EscapeCon 3, I actually am planning on recording something at some point. I was going to do it last night, and then I realized I didn't have my thoughts together enough. Basically, what EscapeCon is a bunch of tournaments / events, depending on how you want to look at them. A lot of them are only tournaments, at least in my perspective, in kind of the form of them, right? Where it's not actually, super competitive. There are the more competitive ones for the more competitive people as a whole, but I feel like most of the people there are just so good. The community's so good, and people aren't there just to win. I played some really ridiculous armies, and basically, though, we're all in a hotel for like 5 days. It's a one-cost badge. You come and we cover your meals. That's part of it. Is really the concept is that everybody's gonna be spending time together for 5 days. So the only thing, you do not have to open your wallet once you're there. Your food is included, all your gaming is included. It's not like Gen Con where like every event is ticketed. You have to pay, and you have to pay to park, and you have to then go rush to get meals in between. So it kind of spun off as like a mini Gen Con just for Heroscape, and then at this point it's pretty different. Mainly because I have a lot of experience with other games, with other conventions as well, and I've been able to see what conventions have done well and what conventions have done poorly, and just trying to really at this point make EscapeCon the best convention experience you could have. So on that front, if anybody has suggestions, my messages are always open. I don't always get back right away, just with class and with work and with everything. But I always do read everything, and I try to always get back at some point, within a week. Really though, please, suggestions. I'm always open, all ears on what you want to see at EscapeCon. So we so far have signups limited only to people that have come before, because without them, EscapeCon 3 wouldn't be happening. We wouldn't have the confidence to sign a contract with the hotel, which we already have, and already on the hook for quite a bit of money. So, but we're already at like 47 or 8 people. So out of just people that have attended in the past, so the retention rate is really high, which I think goes to show that people have enjoyed it. I'll stop rambling on EscapeCon, but really, it's a great community experience. It really is. I wouldn't still be trying to run it if the people weren't good. It's so fun to just be there with everybody. Like, the energy and excitement is just off the charts. So.
Absolutely. And there will be a link in the description below for anybody to check out EscapeCon 3 and how to sign up and look up information on it there. Mike, it's a pleasure to have you on as a guest, and you're always welcome back whenever you're available to discuss Heroscape: Age of Annihilation, or gameplay, or the business side of things, or whatever. It's great to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us. And let me see on the Jeremy. Jeremy, go ahead and give your final thoughts. And
all right.
And
well, I do want to say now that Mike's here on the channel, I wanted to take the time to thank you for running EscapeCon, because you gave me incentive to get back into the game. Because I played back in 2004, right? So I was there day one, and life and stuff happened. It was mainly after discontinuation, right? That broke a lot of spirits, and a lot of people stepped away from the game for a while because of that. But I jumped in every once in a while. I got to run in the smaller local convention. I pulled out. I requested I think I got like a 3-hour block where I taught Heroscape, and that was back in 2014. But that was like the most I did for the game. And then after that point, I never just got a chance to get into it. And with Ryan was like, "You need to go to EscapeCon." And I'm just like, I don't know what that is, but I guess I'm going to EscapeCon. I had zero context, and I show up, and it was just, it was such a good experience, right? You ran it, I didn't notice any problems. I know you probably had very specific things that were logistically crazy to deal with, but from my end as a new EscapeCon attendee, I thought it was absolutely brilliant, and so I did want to take the time to thank you for putting that effort, and I'm super excited to hopefully attend next year when that time comes. So thank you so much.
Well, sorry, just real quick, thank you. I know I had released basically said a post, and I want to make it clear, half the issues were with the hotel that were unfortunately out of my control, and then the other half were things that I had so it went significantly smoother than EscapeCon 1, but for me, if it doesn't run 100% perfect, I'm never going to be happy, which means I'm never going to be happy. And I've accepted that at this point, right? Because the way I see it is everybody, it's not a cheap convention, and I get that. It's not trying to be the budget convention that you spend $5 and you attend, and but you have a crappy experience. This is supposed to be a great experience, which means it comes with a price tag, which means that you are taking time off work, and you are paying, and you're coming here, and that means I want it to be as great as possible. And so that means when something doesn't go quite as well as planned, even if it goes 90% is not good enough. And so it's really a me problem at the end of the day, which is fine. I'm happy to have that issue, but it's just and for what's worth, every issue has already been solved for next year. presumably there will be other issues that occur that I haven't foreseen, but basically everything that went wrong last year has already been corrected for next year. So I'm super excited for next year, hoping it goes 100% as well as planned, and I'll just have to deal with it when it doesn't. So
we're excited to support any way we can.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, and just on the real quick on the releases, just super excited. The Clockwork Combine is creating a niche style that has not been explored in Heroscape very strongly, which is the idea of knocking the species, taking the prey, and what an animal or these factions have to do should they get technology. And I mean, it's great. I'm super excited to learn more about them, learn why they decided to fight, because they were pacifists. So now the question is, what made them take arms, and then learn about that story. So I'm excited to learn about. I think it was Doc. Doc is the one who's designing both of those factions. I want to hear what his plans are for this group and see where they go. But yeah, no, super excited for all the new stuff and for PulseCon and Drake's back. Heroes never die. So excited. But my name is Jeremy, also known as Proton on servers, also known as Majora's Incarnation on the forum. And I run the SM Collate. It's a stream series, a platform where I dive into the narrative design and lore of video games, board games, what have you. Talk a lot about stories and stuff like that. So you can find me on Twitch, same name, on Twitter in the same name, and on YouTube. And so it's the SM Collate, ESSALIM. Should be able to find it. So yeah, and thanks for having me again.
And thank you, Jeremy. Jason, give your final thoughts and sign off.
For the for the Clockwork, whatever they're called, the Clockwork something or other.
Combine, yeah.
Clockwork Combine, yes. I'm curious to see what the miniatures look like. They could be really cool, or they could be really, really weird. I'm not sure yet, but...
Or both.
Or both. It could be some combination of both. But I probably only want the really cool ones, ignore the really weird ones. But I'm like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn out. So looking forward to seeing them. And other than that, I'm Jason, the creator of the Tabletop Battlefield. You can find my YouTube channel, all that stuff, over at tabletopbattlefield.com. And if you like space combat, EmpireUnderSiege.com will take you to my tabletop miniatures game, Legends of Caladagia.
Joe!
I love this faction. I'm so excited for it. Definitely not number one, because that's for the Ironclad. That is hell for the Ironclad. You know what? Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll move this to the number 3, because the Dawn Raiders are also right next to them because of the Morrow Pirates. So, but they're all so great. This is all so great. I love these characters. They're so cool. Bioshock Infinite with Vorad. I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. So, I am Joe Crazy 3193 on YouTube. I've been working on some different types of Heroscape content, either through educating people about how to make the PDFs of your Heroscape maps, or how to play Heroscape online, other than my own battle videos, because I got 14 hours of EscapeCon footage, so gotta go through that, and I know everyone's begging me to put their game out first, so you gotta be patient, okay? There's an order to do things around here.
What about me? What about mine?
Yeah, exactly. I know, I'm getting to it. There's an order. There is an order. I will explain it soon. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. I have a lot of work and a lot planned. So find me on YouTube for all that awesome content, Instagram, and Twitch, of course, as well. So
yeah, Joe, and you've grown a lot even in the past few months. I can see, like, with your editing style and your YouTube videos, you're growing like a lot when it comes to this. So yeah.
You know what? I've made enough mistakes to make it look better. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
Yes, I've messed up too many times.
You learn, then.
Exactly.
Yep, you keep on learning. Absolutely. Ben.
What's up, everybody? I just wanted to start off too by mentioning EscapeCon 2. It was awesome. Thanks, Mike. It was my first tournament style experience when I sat down at that first match for Good Old Days. That was literally my first tournament style battle. And it was fun. I was able to meet you guys, except for Jason, but I'm glad I met you too, Jason. But I was able to, I bunked with these 3 guys, and so we really got to know each other, and that was just really cool. And literally, EscapeCon was the jumping point for us collectively getting together. And so that's just another reason why this EscapeCon 2 will hold a place in my heart, because it brought us together, brought our little collective together. So that was just one thing.
Together practically, Mike. So
really, it did. It 100% did. And I'll vouch for the CoV, the Casters of Valhalla podcast. It is the competitive Heroscape podcast. I learned everything competitive that I know about Heroscape. I learned from that podcast, because it's not just Mike, but it's literally a panel of people who play Heroscape really well. To the point where when I was at ScapeCon and I sat down across the table from somebody that I've heard on Casters of Valhalla, it was almost like an automatic loss. I knew I was going to lose, but it was still fun. And just the experience that I gained by battling with these voices that I've heard, these disembodied voices that I've heard, for going on almost 2 years before ScapeCon happened. It was just an awesome experience. It was such a treat. Just voices like Cleon and Major Q23, William and Cody, their voices are so distinct that when I heard them in real life, I was like, wow, I was celebrity, starstruck, just like I was with Mike. Mike is the leader of the podcast. The only thing that could have topped it if Ken was there, Matthias Maccabeus, that would have been my 2 Heroscape goats of all time just there. So that would have been awesome. But anyway, it was just awesome hearing, meeting the people. If you guys go listen to the Casters of Valhalla podcast, when you see them at ScapeCon, you'll know the exact feeling I'm feeling, because they literally taught me all of my competitive Heroscape knowledge. And it was fun. Is his name Emery? Your friend, Helms Rule?
His name is Mike, first name Mike, so that's why our parents always called me Schober and him Emery, right?
Okay.
And we called each other by last name, and all the friends called us by last name, so yeah.
Okay. Well, at ScapeCon, I did lose to Mike Emery while he was playing Hounds, so I thought it was an honor to lose to Hounds Rule, because you've mentioned him on your podcast plenty, and he's really good friend of yours. So once I saw the name Hounds Rule, I was playing him and I sat down and he had hounds. I didn't want to weird him out by saying, oh my God, it's you and I'm playing hounds. But it was a cool experience to lose. I lost to him, but to lose to Hounds Rule while he was playing hounds, that was an honor. But now to the Clockwork Combine. I love them. They're cool guys. I love the Da Vinci style wings that the gliders have. I love the airship. All of this is really good. They're probably my second favorite after the Dryans. I just really like the Dryans, but these guys are a close second because they're just the fantasy aspect, and I love it. And the steampunk and the little armed woodland creatures is just right up my alley as well. So I really like that. And Sergeant Drake. That's cool. I'll give you guys that. It's cool. But I'm excited for Torquil Gnaw 2.0. That is, if we get it, hopefully we get it. That's my prediction that we'll get it.
We still have a few weeks. So
we do.
Even if
my prediction that we'll get it, but hopefully he's good, because I like that character. He's one of my favorite characters from Classic Escape. So if we do get a Torquil Gnaw 2.0, that would be sweet. I like that fact more than the actual Sergeant Drake 3.0. I like that there's the possibility, even more confirmed now, that we can get Torquil Gnaw 2.0.
I just want confirmation that there's going to be more Morrow. I'm sure there's going to be, but I just we all
want
want
Morrow
more
Pirate.
Morrow. Yeah, well, yeah, the Morrow Pirate.
No, hive Morrow.
Yeah, the hive, the Morrow are still there, and they're still
for sure.
out.
They're lurking in the shadows, even though maybe they've been defeated a little bit. But can you really defeat the Morrow? Really? Come on now.
Oh, and Ben, your channel. Yeah.
Yes, I'm MK Plus Ultra. My channel is MK Plus Ultra. I have an Instagram _MK Plus Ultra _ Heroscape content up the wazoo. If you guys like Heroscape, which I mean you guys probably do if you're watching this live stream, hit me up. I'm there. Battles, content weekly, battles every week trying to do. I have a battle coming out tomorrow for Memorial Day. It is my last EscapeCon exhibition match. I am playing Cody or Cleon from the Heroscapers forums. It was a really tough battle. Obviously, you guys can speculate if I won or not. But yeah, it was a really fun battle. Joe was actually there commenting the whole time. He's in the intro, so look out for that. It was fun, and it was just a really nice battle. I have a giveaway going on my channel. Go to the Grudge Match Giveaway 2 battle. I'm giving away a brand new inbox, Fortress of the Ark Kyrie set to the winner. So Grudge Match Giveaway 2, you can get entered to win that. And lastly, next week, after this week, obviously that's what next week is, but after this last EscapeCon battle, we will be starting season 4 of battles. And it's going to kind of run similar to what Mike is doing right now with Hounds Rule, the other Mike, is we're playing with the team we want to play. And when I say we, it's my brother Alex, if you haven't seen my channel. But my brother Alex and I were both choosing a specific army, and the other person is building 3 armies. So we want to get practice with the specific army we, made, but then it's also going to be fun to create 3 armies as well. So I believe Alex is going first, and he's going to be running either Knights or Romans. Haven't really solidified the details yet, but he's going to be playing Knights or Romans for 3 battles. I'm making 3 teams, and then the next time I'll have 1 team, and he'll have created 3 teams to battle. So if it sounds confusing, we'll clarify it more when we get to it. But yeah, season 4. It's going to be awesome. Season 4 of content, the first half is going to be pretty much mine and Alex's choice, what we want. And then the second half of season 4, we want to give it to the viewer's choice. So you guys make armies for us. You guys bring back up what armies that we've already played that you want to see updated. Because if you go back season 1, season 2, we had maybe 2/3 of the figures we have now. So we can update armies, we can optimize armies. So if you want us to see us replay a battle from the past with updated armies or just whatever, you're going to get an opportunity to do so. So we'll let you know what's going on with that. But season 4, first half is me and Alex. Second half is all for the viewers. So thank you guys, and I'm MK Plus Ultra.
Absolutely. And there's a couple more comments here on the live stream. I just want to get it. And Marion says, "Hello, amigos." Hello, Marion. Thanks for watching. Justin. Actually, I'm gonna cover this one first. Ben. This new comment from someone named Ben Fariga, I think. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I butcher names. I played Heroscape since day 1 when I was in middle school, and yeah. So keep on playing because it's coming. More is coming. So thanks for the comments. And then Justin has one more thing to say, and I kind of want to actually have a response to this. He says, "I want a Heroscape novel, show, or movie about the relationship between the Clockwork Combine and Ironclad." And you know what, Justin? You know what? There's someone in this group that quite possibly had done some stop-motion animation of Heroscape figures sometime in the past or currently.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Wait, who's that?
I think possibly so. That's a possible thing. And I think this person might possibly consider that in the future. It's going to be in the way future, but yeah, if Hasbro doesn't do, or Avalon Hill doesn't do something, maybe I'll do something. Non-canon, but might possibly do something with that. Possibly, maybe in the future. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And if you want to get an idea of what that might look like in the future, check out my YouTube channel, which is Tales of Valhalla, and it's based off the show Tales of Valhalla: The Aftermath Chronicles, where we show not 1, not 2, but currently on 3 seasons of stop-motion animation based on the board game Heroscape. Currently in production of finishing season 3, editing that on Wednesday nights via live stream. And this ToV podcast is just an added bonus to all the fun. And so yeah, and we primarily look at Airborne Elite as the primary protagonists, and we have a lot of antagonists. Just a lot of fun exploring the possible events of lore and characters, and also just satire and fun in the Heroscape universe. So go ahead and check those out. Hours of content worth basically on there. And I've even had some people tell me when we play Heroscape, we just have Tales of Valhalla on in the background, which I think is really cool. So yes, go and check those out. And that's what I'm all about. And for tonight, I just gotta say thank you again, all you guys, for commenting. And I also want to say as well, yes, EscapeCon 2 was a fun time. I do not regret going. It was an absolute blast. And even though I took photos of that, I still haven't looked at that stuff. I haven't even looked at that stuff. It's been just a wild few months. But yeah, it was a fun time. Thank you so much, Mike, for just the organizing of that, because I know it's got to take a ton of work, and appreciate all that you do. And again, the invitation to come back on podcast on ToV Podcast is for you, open anytime. Glad to have you on, and glad to have you guys as well on tonight. And again, thank you everybody watching. If you're watching this live, and if you're watching this on YouTube later, always again appreciate the likes. Press all the buttons. Go to all the places and just support these people, and let's just keep on growing this community, growing this game, and just doing what we love. And just thank you again, everybody watching, for the support. And with that, I will say what I always say when I end these things: you have a purpose in your life, find it, pursue it, and live it. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye now.